Hey guys, Moldran here. A lot of people have been asking me, Moldran, how do you farm experience right now? And basically, the best way to farm experience right now is to just farm different routes for each act. For example, there's one really good route in Act 1 and one really good route in Act 2. And while one of those might be more XP than the other, both are very high experience per hour if you farm the right zones. And I want to explain today the Act 1 route. So usually this turns out to be around 240 million XP per hour on average, but more on the calculations later. Now I'm gonna just show you the run. So first what you do is you're gonna start in the Festering Woods. The reason for that is patch 1.0.8 increased the bonus experience that you get for the Defiled Valor stacks. Now they work multiplicative instead of additive, which means getting 5 stacks in an experience run is definitely worth it. So what you want to do is you want to start with Stone of Jordan equipped and just use the Festering Woods to get as many stacks as possible. You do this by killing elites. Usually there are 2 elites outside. There could also be an event there that spawns a purple mob that also gives a stack if you complete the event. And there are also the 2 dungeons. One is the Warrior's Rest and the other one is the Tomb, where you can find 1 guaranteed elite pack in each. So after you got 4 stacks or something, that's usually how I end up Festering Woods. You could have 3 if you're unlucky, or could even get all 5 stacks in the Festering Woods. Then usually I go to the Weeping Hollow. In the Weeping Hollow I'm gonna get my remaining stacks, or a stack if I need some, and kill some of the zombies. The zone is not as good as some of the following zones, but it's worth to get a stack, and if you see large groups of zombies, you can actually stay a bit longer in the zone and get additional experience from it. So after the Weeping Hollow, usually I head right away to Fields of Misery, and Fields of Misery is one of the best zones. There are lots of legendaries, there's a lot of monsters. Just clear the entire zone is definitely worth it. You're gonna get so much experience and have a high chance for legendaries. But Fields of Misery alone is not the only thing. There are 2 very good dungeons. One is the Scavenger's Den, which has around the same XP as Fields of Misery, so it's definitely worth doing. Every time you see the Scavenger's Den, go in, do a loop, and go out again. That's it. And the other dungeon is actually one of the best in-game, the best in Act 1 for sure. It's the Defiled Crypt. Usually I get 1 or 2 legendaries per run there on MP10. There's so many monsters here, so many zombies. Just make sure you always kill those zombies that spawn. It takes some seconds to spawn. So just wait for them to spawn, rent them and keep going if you have a high geared barbarian. Yeah, this is a lot of experience, but more on that later. And then we're almost at the end of our run. So the last spot is the Halls of Agony, which is also really good experience per hour. It's boosting the experience per hour rate, and so you should do a full clear of Halls of Agony. Now, what you can also do is, if you prefer longer runs like me, is to also go in the Cursed Hold. However, experience-wise, it's not really worth it, but on the other hand, you don't lose much. So you just lose a very small amount of experience if you also integrate the Cursed Hold in your runs, but you make your runs longer and probably more fun. So I often just also go there because I think it's nice to slay some skeletons, and that's pretty much my Act 1 run now. Okay, so this is my Act 1 Excel sheet, and here you can see I ran the zones a few times and calculated the time, the experience I got, and the experience per hour. And the best zone, as I said before, is the Crypt, the Defiled Crypt in Fields of Misery, with 440 million XP per hour. Now this is not final, this depends on your gear and on many other factors, but you could say this plus minus 10%. So anything between 400 to 500 million XP. If you're far more efficient than me or got better gear, you can probably get up to 500 per crypt. Or if you have lesser gear or are new to farming or don't play a barb, unfortunately, then it's gonna be more on 400 million gold XP per hour. Then next zones are Fields of Misery and the Scavenger's Den with 370 million. Then there is the Halls of Agony level 2 with 270 million. Full runs that I did depend on if I get the Defiled Crypt or not, with 230 million XP per hour. Then we have the Weeping Hollow, which is still very good, same with the Cursed Hold. But Weeping Hollow is, as I said, I did multiple runs here and the average is only 200, so it's like the Cursed Hold. And the Festering Woods, of course, is only 100 million XP per hour, but that's just to get the stacks. Now, this is the proper calculation now. Without the Crypt, I was able to get 262 million XP per hour on average. This means the Crypt doesn't spawn every run. The Crypt doesn't spawn every single Fields of Misery run. You have to be lucky to get it. I think it's around 50% chance. But if you get it, your experience per hour is going to be higher. And always go there. No matter what, go in the Defiled Crypt. Without the Defiled Crypt, the experience per hour is a bit lower. It's around 224 million or 230 million as I got here. but overall, on average, you should get 240 million experience per hour with proper geared barbarian. Now, if you don't have gear like me, if you have lesser gear and can't handle MP10 without dying, or you don't have the DPS to kill mobs fast enough, then do the same thing on MP9. Figure out which MP is the best for you. Also, it depends on the class, of course. If you play Demon Hunter, you might want to go down even further. Just do some tests yourself, just calculate the experience, the time, and then calculate the experience per hour you get on each monster power. Now, what I'm gonna do is, in the future, I'm gonna explain my Act 2 run now, because running Act 1, while it's efficient, you wanna change up your farming, because if you just farm Act 1 all the time, you're not much better than half a year ago where everyone was running the Alkezo run. So I also got an Act 2 run, which I'm gonna present in the next days. And what I also wanna do is, I wanna do this Act 1 and Act 2 experience run on a budget barb. So I wanna give myself a certain budget, I don't know, 200 million gold or something, that everyone can get, and see how fast you can level experience on a budget barb, because now leveling experience is kind of the main thing now, because with all the people leveling experience to prepare for the expansion, you really want to maximize it and make it a speedy process. So that was my Act 1 run. I hope you can try this route, have some fun, and there's also a lot of legendaries dropping, so especially if once you get to the higher paragons, let's say Paragon 70 plus, you're gonna see a lot of legendaries drop every now and then, and one run also is 70 million XP per run. So if you do 3 or 4 runs per hour, that's like the 200 plus million XP that you get, and that's usually one level at least, even if you're a higher Paragon. So that was my video for now. Thanks for watching. I'll be back.